That's horrible.
That was a good one.
Yes,
that was very
that's
good. Loved it. Welcome back to the Dead Air Podcast with me, Rennie Monaghan Brown.
I thought it was Monaghan. I thought it was Montague.
And I'm joined by my husband and wife, Jack and James. Introduce yourselves. Respectively. In that order. James, you're back.
I am.
Welcome back. Did you watch the episode that we did without you?
We watched like 5 minutes of it this morning and got bored because I wasn't in it.
Well, there you go.
Cheers.
Well, now you're back, so hopefully we can have a more exciting episode.
We've got Jodie here as well.
And we've got Jodie here.
She hasn't introduced herself yet.
No, everyone knows who I am.
Our first official guest of season 2. Welcome.
Thank you.
Give us a little bit of introduction. We can clearly tell that you're from Bolton, but other than that, what else is there about you?
My favourite animal is a dog.
What breed?
Yep, Labrador.
Good.
Okay. Big dogs.
We can be friends now.
Not really big dog.
What? No, it's like a medium dog.
Labradors.
It's like a medium-sized dog.
It's a medium-sized dog,
I'm 21 next month. In lockdown.
That's right, you can do a lot. I just did my birthday in lockdown.
I don't really know what else.
We got dressed up.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have a party. No, not like loads of people. Just like me.
Just a party.
You and Jamie.
Yeah.
Party of one. Okay, welcome back. It is so good to be back with a proper episode with a guest. We went last week from having only me and Jack, so they're just the two of us. Now we've got double the people, double the voices. And I just wanted to mention something just off the bat of this podcast, which is how we did last season and how we've been doing so far. So I have the deets, and we have had, in total, on all things, over 1,500 listens.
I bet Spill the Tea had more.
Tell people home what Spill the Tea is, because they don't know.
Spill the Tea.
No one's listened to it.
Oh, we don't do it anymore.
You can say you changed the name
What
like 4
was it?
times.
But if you want to listen, it's Spill the Tea on Spotify. It's a podcast about
What's Hattie and Friends?
all things. What?
What's called Hattie and Friends?
Sorry,
What? That's where Hattie changed it as well recently in lockdown.
just ate.
No, that Hattie and her friends is. I mean, I'm not promoting that. That ain't my podcast.
You're not friends.
So much beef. Straight
no
away.
beef.
Back with the beef.
There's no beef.
And what I'm hearing is you don't like Hattie anymore. You're not friends. That's what I'm hearing.
What? He's staring
Doesn't
shit.
she live upstairs?
This is the tea.
Does she live here?
No, there is no tea. Me and Hattie are still friends.
Well, that's not what she said.
Seep. And also, I just wanted to mention about how interesting some of the analytics are of the kind of people that listen. So we've had between 1.5.
Spanish.
No.
Do they live in Spain?
No, they don't. So.
Do they live in Kettering?
No.
Well, that's a lie.
Some of them probably do. Some of them live in Spain as well. But there are some
Corby,
people that
sorry.
live in really weird places. So yeah, we've had nearly 2,000 listens in loads of different things.
I thought it was 1,000.
No, nearly 2,000.
Over 1,000.
Over 1,000. Over 1,500. Under 2,000 listens. To be precise, we've also got 90 subscribers on
Ooh.
YouTube.
We've got more.
Gosh.
Big. No, you don't. You are lying.
Have you run out of
No, I
emails yet?
don't.
How
I
many
haven't run out
YouTube
of
subscribers
emails.
does James have?
12.8k at the moment.
YouTube account.
12.8
From where you
thousand
live?
Nothing anymore.
subscribers.
Oh. What did you used to do YouTube videos?
Yeah, like all the weird like challenges and stuff.
So,
Telling girls that they're
I
beautiful
think-
and weird shit. Yeah, being fake.
I think that some of your old North American buddies are listening.
Who mine?
Because 33% of our listeners are from the United States.
Well, I haven't promoted it.
I have no idea. They're probably just random people, but a third of the people that listen to the podcast are from the United States. More so than people from Spain. More so than people from
Corby.
the UK. And then we have listeners from the United Arab Emirates, Norway, Ireland, Sweden, Canada, Portugal, Switzerland, New Zealand, Chile, Romania, Peru, India, Bahrain, Brazil, Germany, Philippines, the Isle of Man, and Singapore.
Did you ever see that? Is it animation? Oh, what are they called? The Animaniacs, where they do the countries.
Yes.
That's what you just sounded like.
And now, the nations of the world, brought to you by
Rennie Monaghan Brown.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru.
Sweden, Canada, Portugal, Switzerland, New Zealand, Chile, Romania, Peru, India, Bahrain, Brazil, Germany, Philippines, the Isle of Man, and Singapore. Well, yeah, I was going through it pretty fast. But all that is a lot of weird, like, not weird, a lot of different,
Diversity.
exotic, diverse. That's the
Weird
word I was looking for.
countries.
Diverse amount of countries that listen to this show. They're probably only one view each, realistically, but it's crazy to think that someone in Singapore has had this podcast on, probably for about a second, that just came on automatically and then they skipped off. But anyway, we love to have you.
Just get them to write in.
We will now get on to the first thing that I wanted to mention.
Do they
which is
follow
that
our
James-
Instagram?
They probably don't.
Do I?
Welcome back. What do you think of the new logo, James?
I like it.
What do you think
It
of
was the one I voted for.
Very good. What do you think of the name change in general? We haven't had your opinion on it yet.
I liked it more than, what was it, Lights Out?
Lights out.
What was
it? What was it?
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
I've been
And
travelling.
I have missed you.
Cheers, mate.
You had a certain je ne sais quoi to the show.
Cheers, mate.
Let's get into the first thing that I like to ask, which is, are you religious?
No.
You're not religious?
No.
Do you think that you need to be religious to be spiritual?
No.
We've been christened or
No, so
baptised.
I've been christened,
Okay.
but
Would you say, if you're not religious, would you say you're atheist or agnostic?
agnostic's the one that you're not sure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
That one. And so you think that you can, so you don't believe in any religion necessarily, you're open to it, and you don't think that that stops you from like believing in ghosts?
No, like I think you can still have you can see ghosts.
You're right. Yeah.
Two different
Well,
things.
not see them, but like if they exist, I
What
feel
are you guys laughing
I
at?
know what's so funny.
What's hilarious?
I just thought something funny in my head and it didn't even fit.
He's doing my head in it.
It was about Jodie.
You just
to be
my head
fair.
in every single episode.
It was blissful, the last episode.
No. I'm not religious. I've been christened, but like I don't really believe in. I would like to think that there's something, but I'm not sure what.
But you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, segueing into, you said that you've brought a couple of stories.
Yeah.
Is one of them like a main story, and then there's like
No,
others?
like they're all like little.
Whole top
Right, so-
stories.
hit us with the first one.
So I'll start with so basically, in 2016, my nana had cancer and she died in May 2016. I want to say like a year later, not so long. My mum, it happened to my mum first. So she was like, have you ever heard of like?
So is this
feathers?
your mum's mum?
No, yeah, my mum's mum.
Right.
face.
Have you ever heard of like when you see like white feathers?
Yes.
And it's like,
I've never heard of this.
Yes.
what?
How have
Is
you
this not
just-
your thing?
how have you
Yeah.
just clicked to that?
Sorry, I didn't know what you two were talking about. I was like, they're just having a chat again behind the scenes.
Why, what's
yeah.
up?
Okay. So
It's the same thing as you.
Jack, do you
I
want
said that.
I'll let Jodie
to
explain her story and then Jack can bring it up.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
want to do that, or do you want to mention it first?
It's like, well, it's been mentioned
Why has
before.
Jodie not
but
watched
it's-
this on the podcast?
Sorry.
She doesn't watch it.
But, that makes two of us.
In fact, this happened to me yesterday with a feather.
Yeah.
Because I was like proper stressed, as people might know, over some uni stuff. And then I just saw a feather. And it's like whenever something big happens or
Yeah.
something stressful, a feather just like appears from a little white feather, and it's like, how would it get there?
Yeah, it's not a big white feather.
Yeah, just
It's
a
only
tiny
ever
one.
a tiny one.
I should have brought it in. It literally happened yesterday. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Wow. There you go.
But yeah, my mum, because my mum sees them as well, and she's like, "Oh, it's your granddad because he passed away and
Literally.
stuff like that."
Like my mum always says like every time I see a white feather, and that's so true. Like you always see it like when you need to see it, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
well, it always makes you think.
Yeah, like every time I see a white feather now, I think like so that happened first. That still happens, but that happened first a few times, and then I started doing it with like, do you ever do it with like squirrels and stuff when they come right near you and you're like a squirrel or like maybe like a bird?
A robin.
Which is weird
Squirrels come
because
near you.
Yeah,
animals,
like
animals that don't usually like to get
yeah,
close.
like really timid animals that don't usually like to come like because like they get really close to you and they don't like do anything. They just like stay there and I'm like they usually like run off or fly off.
Yeah,
and
we
things
have
like
that with like a robin.
Yeah.
gets really
Well,
close.
my dad had that with a robin. He kept feeding it every winter. Is it winter that they come?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's
I'm
like
not-
Christmas,
I'm not-
isn't it?
Yeah.
I ain't from it.
It's on a Christmas
My
card.
dad, when he was at work, he had the same robin come back for like months, and he was feeding it, and it would let him like it would eat out of his hand. Oh, that's mad, that isn't it?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, started with feathers, and then it would happen to my mum first. So basically, it always happens when at night, like when we're in bed, and like she felt something touch her on her hand, but it like physically woke her up, and then not so long after, probably like months after, like do you know when your room just goes cold? That happened a few
My
times.
room all the time. because
My
it's
room all the
freezing.
time.
Mine's
It's
about to see my
And
window.
it's damp as well.
Like your room just goes cold, but like it was fine, and then it goes cold again. That happened a few times, but like not like just a bit cold, like a breeze, like noticeably cold by the temperature like dropped. And then I felt a few months later, I felt a hand and it woke me up. Same again.
Wow,
It's weird.
that is weird.
It's weird they have the same
So it's
story.
not scary.
Yeah, I was going to say,
It's supernatural.
I've mentioned it now on multiple podcast episodes that it's always weirder to me when the same thing happens to two people.
I
It's
think
like
so.
that box last week.
It's the box last week. It's
What,
my
the box?
personal favourite story on the podcast so far, your dad's one, when we found out on the podcast live because of you doing
The live
research.
reaction.
The
That was
live
good, yeah.
reaction of the fact that basically Jack's dad came in and gave us his story, and Jack was doing some research whilst his dad was telling it, and Jack found an exactly the same experience that someone has put on a forum in the same place that Jack's dad had that experience,
Where
which
was that?
of like a
It was
a nun
in Corby?
or
No, it was a monk.
It
So
was a monk.
basically, it was like near a bridge, but there used to be an old monastery somewhere. It's like the road between Kettering and Corby, which is where I live. My dad was driving back in his old Morris Minor, and he looked in the rear view. It was like late at night, and he looked in the rear view mirror, and like he saw like a hooded figure sitting at the back.
in the back of his car.
And it looked like a monk with no face. And when he turned around, it wasn't there. And he was telling the story. And then I was like Googling it, and there was several sightings, similar ones in the rearview mirror.
There was literally he was reading it and it gave me chills, and we used it as the trailer for that episode because it's still my favourite thing that's happened live on the podcast.
Best moment.
Yeah, best moment for me. You literally started reading it and it was identical to the story that Jack's dad was
That
saying.
is horrible.
And it proper freaked me out. Like that's what I'm saying. I love it because I am a skeptic of sort of all types of like paranormal activity, but it really does make me think as soon as two people say like that they do the same thing, because then it isn't just one person thinking something, then this is an actual thing that does happen, like what you guys both experienced, this white feather thing.
Yeah, like I think that, and I think because you associate it with like people that have died and
Maybe it hasn't happened to me yet because there's been no one
that close.
of significance. That sounds horrid to like my great grandma and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's not the
there's been no one who
Bastard.
I've had a really good relationship with in my life that has died, family wise. So maybe it would happen to me, but it just hasn't happened yet.
I think it's like
I'm not ready.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it happens at like big times in your life as well. But the hand thing, like I think that's real. I think, especially the fact that it happened at night and like we were both asleep, and then all of a sudden like I actually physically felt something. I wasn't even dreaming. Like I wasn't even dreaming about anything. I was just in my sleep, and then I felt a hand, and I was like, thought it was someone waking me up, and then I woke up and it was like the middle of the night and there was no one there. And it happened to my mum, and I didn't even know that until I spoke to her.
Right, that is odd.
So
Until you told her about it
Yeah.
afterwards, she's mentioned it to you.
She said that happened to her a few times as well. Like it's only happened to me the once, but my mum said that it's happened to her a few times.
Never happened to me. So
Never visually seen anything as of yet. I bet she's watching this like, yeah, bitch.
just wait till I pop up.
Yeah,
That is really interesting.
nothing visually.
Has anything happened to either of you guys, like in your sleep? Has anything ever woke you up with a start? Other than like, I have those ones where
You jump.
you fall off something
Yeah.
and you dream and you wake up when you're on the way down. But has anything ever have you ever felt something?
I did that in my geography class.
What? When you were asleep in geography class?
Really?
Nice.
Fell asleep and I fell backwards and then I woke up.
But that's
Right, I
not
was
Fell
about-
scary.
asleep, like,
No, I was
leaning
about to fall
in your chair.
backwards
Oh right.
and then I
What
woke
did
up.
your teacher say to that?
Did he not get the cane out,
No.
considering it was like the 60s?
1900s.
It was like 3 years ago.
Oh wow.
No.
By the way, something that I forgot to mention, maybe should have said it off the bat. Maybe not such a great time to say it after we were just talking about death. But happy birthday the other day, James.
mate.
Was it your 27th?
Nope, 26th.
26th?
26.
I swear on the first episode we say you're 27, so we had it 2
No.
years wrong. So you're well younger than I thought you were. Originally I thought this was your 28th birthday. I
You're
was
4
like, bloody
years
hell.
wish.
away from 30.
I know.
You should be
mad.
having kids, James.
We're none
No.
of us. Not. Oh, you're 20, aren't you?
She's 21.
Yeah,
We're
I'm 21 in
19.
December.
We're 19.
You're 9 years away. You
just
should be having
19.
kids.
Fuck off, I'm not having kids.
Also, happy birthday to Rennie's mum.
And Jack's
Oh,
mum.
yeah.
And Jack's
And
mum,
Jack's
of course. All on the same day.
I'm pretty sure I said
10th
happy
of
birthday to
November.
her. Yeah, I did take wishes.
My mum, on that day, my mum was exactly double James's age because she's 52.
Wow. well, there you go.
At least he
That
knew
was
my
quick,
age.
Quick maths.
I couldn't.
Snake.
I'm still working that out in my head.
Let's rewind this. I'll play the clip now where on the first... I'm not sure if you're trying to sound cool or something. On the first episode, I say, how old are you? You say 27.
Why would
And
I
at
say
the time-
27 or 25?
At the time, you're
I think
25.
it says 24.
Yeah,
No,
I was
I-
probably 24.
I think
No,
I
wait,
say...
yeah. I was 24.
I
No, yeah.
literally...
Then you had your passport out, didn't you?
I
also?
remember the
Yeah.
clip vividly because I say something like, aren't you like 26, James? And he says, no, I'm 27. I'm like, oh, even older than I thought you were. You're ancient.
So
No,
maybe that was
I'm saying you're a liar.
Right, well, let's watch the clip.
Hey, I'm James.
How old are you, James?
I'm 25. I'm from Bryson.
25. I thought you were 24. You're even older than I thought.
No, I turned 25 in
You
November.
are old.
Yeah.
He knows. VAR. They've seen the evidence.
And I was right.
Doubt it.
I'm still 26.
And so...
Wait,
yes,
when are you having
very
kids then, Jodie? I think I'm old.
What's that got to do? I was just talking about my
good. What are you
dad
bringing
now.
it up for?
She said I'm old. She was like, oh, you're 26. You should be having kids by now.
You should be
No.
having kids by now.
Not that I
Let's be
know of.
realistic.
I'm
26.
20. Do you know what I mean? That's young.
26, then you must be in a pretty serious relationship.
Yeah. I'm really good at Call of Duty.
Are you
Nice. Me too, actually. The new one's just come out.
No, you're not.
Higher level than you.
Yes, because you
Last
play it
time I
more.
checked. Doubt. Okay, so sorry that we've kind of verged off the topic of your very serious stories, but thank you, genuinely thank you for coming on and sharing it with us.
We're gagging for people.
It's quite hard to get guests in COVID
Lockdown.
life.
Yeah, we literally. I've got a couple of family members in Manchester that want to come on, like my auntie. That's going to be fun.
What are you doing for Christmas?
Going back to Spain.
What are we doing for Christmas, Jack? We're going to Spain.
I'm actually
Yeah,
going to
we'll come with
Spain,
you.
and then we're going to ski.
Oh, are you skiing?
Where's skiing?
That's posh, that,
skiing.
innit?
Skiing
It is
in-
very posh.
It is,
Is
isn't
it?
it? Yeah, skiing's posh.
Can I come
Like,
with?
if
it's
you
a
go
lot-
on
Can
a
I come with
skiing
you?
holiday, that's posh.
My skis are down south.
We've got a space. If you want to come, you're more than welcome. I'd love to have you there for a couple of days.
I'll go skiing.
Nice.
Actually, I'll snowboard instead.
That is
Have you
in
never been skiing, Jodie?
somewhere in France.
No.
I've
near
never
Lens.
been skiing.
I'd love it.
I love skiing.
I love
It's my
skiing.
favourite sport, other than football, and then skiing for me, and then golf.
Are you bad at all three of them?
Skiing and
no,
golf's quite
I'm bad
posh,
I'm bad
isn't
at
it?
football. I'm good at the other two. I'm saying I'm average at golf. I'm not good. Like my handicap in golf is the maximum women's handicap.
What?
36.
That's 36, yeah. That's just
If you know
sexist.
golf. I know, isn't it? I thought that. But anyway.
What's your handicap, Jodie? Other than being from Bolton.
Have you ever played golf? This is why we have you on for moments like that. That was brilliant. That was so good. That was quick.
That was.
That was snappy.
I'm here
What
a
is
week.
your handicap other than being from Bolton? My God. If we were to ever do merch, I think that would have to be on it. First merch drop. I'm crying. I'm crying. This is the trailer. For sure.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
So what are your other handicaps?
I don't know what a handicap is. I'm not a handicap.
It just means how many over
I thought a
par you
handicap
are.
was when you were disabled.
It is.
Like a disability. I thought that. Well, I don't know.
That was the joke.
That was my play on words.
Yeah, no.
handicap.
I thought, as in like golf.
Yeah, it's when how many you are over par normally.
I don't know what
Gosh.
that means.
How many you are over like the amount of minimum shots it
I
should
need
take
to
you.
compose myself. That was brilliant.
Cheers, mate.
James, what did you do for Halloween? You were in Lanzarote.
I was in Lanzarote.
Do you want to tell the people about Lanzarote?
It's hot and windy.
Whereabouts is it?
I love Lanzarote.
It's a Spanish island just off the course
is
of
it
like.
in the Canaries?
No, it's off Morocco.
Is it in,
Yeah, so
is
it's Canaries. It is Canaries.
Is
It's the Canaries, yeah. I climbed a volcano.
I've been to Mallorca.
I've been to
No,
Mallorca
that's
as well
wrong
this year.
one. That's Balearic.
Menorca.
Menorca?
No, Menorca is Balearic as well. It's
I've been there.
Tenerife is
I love
Canary.
Tenerife.
Yeah.
I've been to Tenerife. That's like my family's
Do you
destination
know where else
holiday
is good?
location.
Fuerteventura.
That's another one
I love
there in the
Fuerteventura.
same place.
I went to Cyprus last year.
I went to Cyprus last year, so I went to the same place.
Anything anything of interest to tell us about your trip to Lanza?
We didn't go together, by the way.
No,
Yeah, she just left
she
Jamie
just
when we
wants to
got
let
there.
everyone know.
We didn't go.
James, only you. Do you have anything of note to tell us about your trip to Lanzarote, for which you missed a recording episode of the podcast, a Halloween special, in fact?
I climbed a volcano and pissed off it.
Can we?
that's good.
That's so inappropriate.
What?
He pissed off the volcano.
I also did a shot of vodka up there. but-
Did you piss in the volcano?
No, it wasn't active. Well, it is active, but it's like not.
I was gonna say
Magma,
that's a power move.
Yeah,
Pissing
I'm not
into
that-
the rock of the earth.
It's quite hard to piss on top of a volcano, though.
Why is that?
Because it's very windy. Especially Lanzarote
Yeah.
is very flat.
Also, it's hard to. Was it high up? It's hard to breathe on volcanoes, isn't it?
No,
'Cause
it
it's
wasn't that
up.
high, to be fair.
Oh.
It only took like 15 minutes to hike.
Well, in the episode that you missed, we introduced our pet which everyone can see behind me. I'll get him from...
What is it?
No, behind me.
That
What the fuck is it? Oh, is it a weird bird thing?
Weird bird thing. This is living proof that he doesn't watch the podcast that he
I knew
is
what
a
it
member
was. I
of.
said it was a weird bird thing.
It's the skeleton of a raven. Crow?
Raven.
One of the two. We'll figure it out. We're going to... Sorry, you can't see that. There it is.
Oh, fuck.
We're going to paint it purple to match with the show. We're going to just have it as like a little thing that's in the background. We haven't named it yet. Do you have an idea for a name?
Before.
Pete. Why
No,
Pete?
Actually, shall I switch it?
What do you mean?
Like, I just feel like we can be more creative.
What, with names?
Yeah.
Well, no, we don't have to name it
I
now.
thought
I'm
we
just
were
coming up with
asking
just
the
quick,
audience.
quick ideas. We are asking the audience. I'm just coming
No.
up with
I've got a
I
name for it.
am the audience.
Right, okay. Watch the episode.
Kiwi.
Kiwi. Why Kiwi?
Don't know, it was the first name that came up. 25 popular bird names. Like, I know it's a skeleton, but...
There you go. Dead Kiwi.
Baby.
Can we call it the $9,000 a year podcast because it's dead?
Down!
I was trying to think of whose podcast to insult.
Mine. I thought you would choose
Yeah, I was
mine.
going to say yours.
Diss track. I feel like I feel like we're at a diss track booth making some
Did
fire
they
tunes.
still do the podcast?
No.
No, I'm pretty sure not.
I think it's ended. Jodie, what did you do for Halloween?
Jodie, what did you do for Halloween?
I was in Edinburgh.
Where is Edinburgh?
With
Where
your
is
boyfriend,
Edinburgh?
I saw that.
Yes, with Jamie. What?
You left lockdown. You went to a different
Boris.
country.
Excuse me.
Boris.
Cut that. Cut.
No, I did it as well. I did it as well.
No, it was essential travel.
Right.
Why was it essential travel? Well, you both live in Bolton.
No, Jamie's from Wigan.
Oh, that's even worse.
Which is on. You go from Bolton,
wouldn't say
Edinburgh
that.
to Wigan. It's on the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Edinburgh's on the
Essential
way.
travel.
It is if you kind of go up there and then come all
Come
the way
on,
back
right.
Yeah,
the same way
depending
you
on
came.
your route.
It's the same essential travel as when he went to Newcastle last week.
No, for
Why are
Halloween,
you dragging
same
us
time.
into it? You went to Tenerife.
Yeah, I was allowed to. COVID actually came from Bolton.
Yeah, it's spawned.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, it didn't spawn.
Did you know it is actually the 1 year anniversary of COVID? It was the first confirmed
Today.
case this time last year.
It's the COVID 1 year anniversary special featuring Jodie Warburton as the
I
guest.
created COVID.
Yes, it's from
From
Bolton.
Bolton.
Jodie, you said you came here with multiple stories.
That was all of them. I mean, I
I went to Edinburgh and
no.
No, so we had the
She broke lockdown.
the feather one and the waking up one.
I went to see. Well, there was one time which was quite weird. I went to see. My nana's got cremated, so she's got a stone. You know, like in the
a cemetery.
yeah.
Gravestone.
Yeah. Sounds great.
But obviously, her ashes aren't there. Her ashes are at my house. That sounds really weird. She's in the cupboard. she's in the TV unit.
Is she actually? Is she like in an actual urn?
No.
Because my mum has my dog in a box. Like
Yeah,
a
my nana.
ashes.
Like, we never bought my nana an urn. We should. She's in the box still.
You can't even open the box, can you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I went to see her stone because she got a stone in the cemetery, even though I've got her ashes. And like I was saying about how animals that usually don't get that close to you, they do get that close to you. And I was like, obviously crying, and this like squirrel came like, and I mean like within like not even what I don't know what distance is.
A meter.
Have you passed maths yet?
Yeah, like within less than a meter, like less than this. Probably like where James is now.
Right. So you've had the white feathers.
Yeah.
You've had the being woken up, you and your mum.
Yeah.
And then the squirrel incident. Are these all from the same? Do you think these are all from the same grandmother?
Yep. I think it's I'm not like you said. I've not really had anyone else significant.
So
pass
this is
away.
your mum's mum.
Yep.
And how long ago was it, if you don't mind me asking?
2016. So
4 years ago.
yeah. It doesn't feel like that.
Did all of these things happen like straight away, or
They still do happen. Like the squirrel incident only happened like last month,
right?
which is like bizarre because nothing had happened in ages. Like the last thing that had happened to me was the obviously I find feathers all the time, but the last thing that had happened to me was the hand. It's only ever happened to me once, but it's happened to my mum a few times, she said.
Right.
And I think more things happen to my mum. Like, do you know, like noises when there's no one in the house that you can hear, and you're like, so for example, there was like, this might just be a coincidence, but there was this one time where the tap came on by itself. I didn't even turn it on, and it
Do you have
always
taps that you
seems to
turn, or
be
do you just have like
turn,
sensor taps? Oh, okay.
turn. So like, I'm not that posh. So like, do you know where like It's happened twice, and every single time I've been in my room. So like my room is back to back with the bathroom, and like every time I've been in my room, I can hear the tap if it turns on. There's this one time where I was in my room like just doing my hair, and like the tap turned on in the bathroom, and I could hear it, and there was no one else in the house. It was mad. It's always the hot water tap. And it's happened twice.
That is, and it's difficult to turn the tap. Like
it's one of them where you turn. Yeah. That's happened twice.
That is odd.
Weird.
I mean, that might not be my nana, that might just be the coincidence. Because I'm pretty sure, here's another one for you, I'm pretty sure an old woman died in my house. In fact, an old woman did die in my house.
That was going from, like, maybe it happened to,
No, it did.
I killed her, it was me, I know it. That sounds positive, that's
when
what
my
I'm
mum and dad bought the house when I was younger, they got told that a woman had died in their room.
Does it have an annex?
No.
Was it with a candlestick?
Why?
It's from Cluedo.
Oh, is it? I don't play Cluedo.
But it's a rubbish game. Don't worry.
No,
Don't
yeah.
say it.
Fucking banging game.
No, it isn't.
Is it almost as good as Among Us?
I love Among Us. It's so good.
Oh, there's ghosts in Among Us.
There is. See, it was on topic.
All comes around. Big circle.
Yeah. I mean, I think they had to get. I'm not sure if there's any like rules on it. On like whether you have to be told if a person.
I think you
died
have to
in the
just claim
house.
it.
Do
Someone.
you?
Yeah, I think pretty sure.
Yeah, an old woman died in my mum and dad's bedroom.
Right. In
Doing
their
what?
What, just like of old age?
Yeah, of old age.
They're just deathbed in there.
Yeah.
Is that what they said?
What?
That was of old age.
That's what they
Yeah.
said, but it was actually a ghost that killed them. Guaranteed.
Don't say that. I want to sleep tonight.
And they said it was in your parents' room, but it was actually in your room, and they just didn't want to scare you.
Well,
But-
it went from because obviously like my brother used to live with me, and like my room now was his room, and he lived there, and I'm sure that at one point it was in his room, and then they changed it back when I moved in and said it was their room. It was probably my room.
Yeah,
But our house is pretty old, but I always hear noises.
Old
We
House
had it-
Creek though.
Yeah, we have an old chimney breast. You know, like we got it plastered over when we wanted to redecorate the living room. We've got it in the front room and the back room, and we've replastered them. And you can hear like
The wind?
Yeah, but you can hear the wind, but you can hear like it's weird because sometimes it sounds like someone's in it. That's just weird.
You got a chimney sweep in your house?
But like
Little
it
Victorian
sounds like
boy.
someone's in it. It's weird. It's horrible. But I don't. That's weird.
So all these things that happen. What do you remember the first time anything happened? Like was it the feather?
Feather.
Do you
was
remember it
first
at the first time, or
No,
like?
I don't really remember it. I mean, it wasn't straight away. It was like I'm gonna say like a year after she died.
And so I'm guessing more stuff you said happens to your mum than to you.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like the whole like touching the hand in her sleep and things like that, it's happened to her more times than it's happened to me.
Yeah.
Did it happen to your dad at all?
No.
Was your mum wake your dad up at all or like anything?
No.
Well, I'm sure if
Did you
it
wake
was
Jamie up at all?
your mum's
No.
mum.
I wasn't. I've been on my own the whole time it happened in my own bed.
Okay.
I'm sure if it's your mum's mum, then there's probably like obviously a better
There's a
connection.
connection, yeah, obviously.
Well, it's funny because she looked after me from when, like being a baby. Like I didn't go to nursery. Like mum and dad just. I went to nursery when I was like obviously old enough to. I think I went to nursery when I was like 2. But from like being a baby, she looked after me. So she was literally like my second mum.
Yeah.
So and like she obviously didn't have any favourites, but we don't have any other like she doesn't have any other grandkids apart from me and my brother. So I feel like obviously me being the youngest and she looked after me more than she looked after Kurt when he was little. I feel like we still had a connection. Maybe not as obviously as like at the end of the day if it's your mum, but like she like was my second mum. But nothing else has happened to me.
No.
Yeah, as of yet, apart from feathers and touching.
Does anything happen to your brother?
And the squirrel.
No.
How old's your brother?
Well, listen to this. How weird is this? I've got a nephew who's only. Well, at the time it happened, he was probably like 1, and like
Nephew. So is it your sister or your
my
brother's?
brother's son,
Okay.
Leo. He was like 1 at the time it happened, and obviously Kurt moved out with Emma into their own house, like 2 years ago now, just before Leo was born. And like we've got, do you know them little like plaques you can get when someone dies, and it's got like loving grandma to
Yeah, just stand up like,
like you can, they're like plastic and cellophane, and you can like put them on things. I've
Yeah,
got one in my
stick
room
them
of my
on.
nana.
Yeah.
It's really tiny, it's like this big.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah,
ish,
and
but
it's got the name on it, and like when they died, when they were born, where they died, how they died. Well, it's not got how she
they
died.
died.
It's not got how she died on it. She's got like where. It's got that. Imagine just no. It's got like how. It's got like where she died.
Yeah.
So she died at the hospice. Anyway, she's got a picture on it as well, like a little nice picture at the top. And Kurt's got the one he has in his room, in his living room in his house. Mine's in my room. And when Leo was probably like, I want to say like 1, he literally like went over and he never obviously like met my nana. Like he doesn't really know who she, like we talk about her, but like he never met her because
Yeah.
How old is he now?
He's 2 now.
Okay.
So it was like
Full
2
conversation
years
about him.
before.
What is a 1-year-old like? Before you continue, can a 1-year-old like speak to you?
Yeah, like a 1-year-old can babble. Like
Right.
you can. When Leo was like, it was probably like when he was about 1.5.
Right. Okay.
I want to say nearly 2. He could talk, but you kind of had to really listen to understand what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, like, it was mad because the little like plaque thing that Kurt's got in the front room of my nana, he, like walks over to it and he like picks it up and he's like, Nana, Nana, and I'm like, and Kurt started crying because he was like, what? And like, it was so weird. And then he was like, and then now when we say it to him, he'll go over because my mum's got one in the living room at home. He was 2 now, and he'll go over and he'll pick it up and he'll be like, Nana Ivy, Nana Ivy, and it's just mad.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Jack?
What? Oh,
About
This is a different story, but I can't remember who said it.
yeah, it was
was it Cole?
Cole. You know Cole Rothery?
Yeah. Oh, he never met his
He'd never met his grandma himself, so this was a story himself. He'd never met his grandma, and he was in his living room, and there's a picture
Yeah, it
of
was
his
a paint-
grandma
yeah,
on
picture,
the wall,
wasn't it?
And he would just point at it and say Nana, and his mum was like she died before he was born, so he'd never met her, and he would be like, and then didn't he say something like his mum asked him something, and he was like, sorry, I was just speaking to Nana. And he was like,
Yeah.
like a point on the
was
wall.
it a mirror or something?
It was a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
She
then
was sitting in the chair.
sat on the chair.
Yeah.
And then he can't remember any of it now.
No.
But that's what he said to his mum.
So
That's what drugs does to you.
his mum obviously remembers this story like quite vividly of Cole speaking basically to his grandma that he'd never actually met in real life, and he doesn't remember it, but obviously that's quite a cool thing to have, I suppose.
Like obviously now, like Leo's 2, we can show him things like so for example, like we have a few pictures of my nana in the living room on the side cabinet, like, and he knows now that that's my nana, and he'll say like Nana Ivy, but like when he was like 1 and that plaque was in my brother's front room, and like Kurt and Emma were both sat on the couch, and Leo like picked it up and was just like clear as day. Didn't say Nana Ivy, but he knows the name now, but was like Nana, and Kurt was like, like welled up because he was like, what? Like that's mad. You've never.
That's so weird. It's a almost identical story to the one that Cole told us. Episode 3.
No, episode 3 is the like $9 grand a
Episode
year.
2.
No, episode 2 is $9 grand a year.
Is it?
Episode
Alright.
4 is John Lewin. It's episode 3. Episode 3, Cole Rothery. Go and watch that one if you haven't watched it. Extremely similar story. Again, with the thing I was saying about 2 people having a very similar thing makes it a lot more
I
weird
think it
to
does
me.
with kids. Like I feel like kids, and especially pets, dogs
It's
and
different
cats,
connection.
Yeah.
seem to have like some sort of like weird.
We've discussed this as well with
But they
Jack's
can't
dad.
tell it. They
No,
can't communicate it
But
to
I
us.
feel like that's
babies
done,
as well.
Yeah, like babies. Like, I think that's done on like purpose. Like the reason Leo knows that that's his. Well, it would have been his great nana. Like I think he must have. I don't know. Like I don't know. That's just weird, isn't it?
It is weird.
I just think he knows it would have been his nana.
Yeah, I mean, if he's watching stuff on TV and people have a nan,
But how he watches things like Paw Patrol.
yeah, that's
Do you know
what I
what I
mean.
mean?
I mean, like Peppa Pig and stuff. But
So they.
Peppa Pig's got a good backstory.
It is weird.
But for him to
And
pick that,
interesting.
I
Quite
mean,
fucked
this
up
is
in
this
Paw
plaque
Patrol.
that I'm talking about. It's not like a big picture.
It's small.
It's like a tiny plaque, and it's the smallest picture of her
Yeah.
on this, like, and it's mostly writing. And then he just picked it up, and he was like, no, and then he did it first to Kurt, and then obviously when he started coming around to my house, and he understood a bit more about like who she was. He obviously still doesn't understand who she was.
Yeah.
She will when he gets a bit older, but like he'd go over to like, because we've got loads of pictures. If I point at one now, he knows straight off the bat like Nana Ivy,
Yeah.
and he knows it's her. So I think, but even for a 2-year-old, in my opinion, to sort of like pick that up that fast, to even if I pointed a picture at him now and was like, "Who's that, Leo? Who's that?" and he'll be like, "Nana Ivy," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's really like that's mad," because I've only told him if like.
And he's never met her.
No. Like she died 2 years before he was born.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like crazy in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know she experienced it.
Yeah, that's mad that.
Yeah, that is a really, really good story. Again, it's like
Any more stories you apparently don't have?
very high quality.
They just keep coming
Yeah,
now.
they're just like, it's just
Once you start
unlocking
talking about
memories.
it.
That is true though. Like,
I think babies, especially pets, they have some sort
Yeah.
of like spiritual. Like when Sally was alive, like I had a dog, a Labrador, Sally, and she would like stir. I've got a bit of a scary story about my dog, which I could tell. So
Go for it.
basically, we put her down December 2018.
Okay.
The
Same.
week before my what?
Same.
Did you?
It was around that time, November, December.
Yeah, December 2018 we put Sally down. She
I
was
was in
really
Vancouver.
ill. She had like cancer in her mouth, and she was just like, it sounds really disgusting, but her like mouth was literally rotting. So like it was just not.
Did
fair
she
to
throw up
keep
every
her
time she
alive.
swallowed?
No.
Oh, that's what happened to my dog. She had
Oh,
cancer in
did
the mouth as well.
No.
What? Stop.
Was yours a chocolate Labrador?
A black
Oh,
cloud.
mine was chocolate.
That's similar enough.
Yeah. She
pretty
had
similar.
cancer of the mouth, and it was just rot. Like it was horrible. Like it was not fair to keep her alive, and
Yeah.
like we kept her alive long enough. And basically, I went to the Christmas markets the day she got put down. Like obviously, I waited until like the mum and dad come back from the vets, and like I went to the Christmas markets because I was trying to cheer myself up. And I came home, and like I was sat down in the living room with mum and dad, and like there was like, I mean, not that this has any like
An aurora.
relevance, but we had like candles lit up just
Right.
because my mum puts candles up, you know, like wax melts and things like that. Like she just has candles around the
My
house. Like
parents do that.
there was some in the back room, like where she used to lie, and she used to lie against like the back, like so in our back room there's like a spare back wall where there was nothing there. So she'd like lie across, like even if there was no one sat in there and we were all sat in the front room, she'd lie in there on her own. And I literally sat on the couch with my mum after getting back, and I hadn't been in 5 minutes, and like we had carpet in the back room at the time, and like when she lay down you could hear it, like like when dogs
Yeah.
lie down it makes a noise, doesn't
Right.
it? Me and my mum identically heard it at the same specific time, and we both looked at each other like, what? I had to physically go into the back room to look to check if she was there,
Even though she died.
even though she was put down that day. That's mad, that, innit?
That is weird.
Still an aurora.
That's weird.
And my friend says that because she had a boxer, she said that she can still hear people. She can still hear. He was called Troy. Troy's paws on the laminate flooring in the hall.
weird.
I think dogs are still there in your house.
Right.
They never want to leave you.
No,
Dogs
I
are loyal.
don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
dogs ever want to leave. I think dogs stay
I mean, makes sense.
because that was I honestly, me and my mum looked at each other and we were like, what? Like I had to go into the back room to make sure that she wasn't there. Like it was just mad.
That is crazy. I was thinking then, when you were telling that story about how your dog was in a lot of pain and so they put it down. Don't you find it weird that it's still a big point of contention about killing humans the same
Yeah.
way? Like
Yeah.
putting humans down.
Well,
with, like,
when they're in pain.
Yeah. So like euthanasia.
yeah, I was thinking that as well.
So it's weird how like we give that respect to dogs, but we don't give it to humans. And is it like a religious thing? Is it like humans shouldn't die when it isn't their time? Like I don't know. It's like an artificial death or something.
I think as well, like
But it doesn't make sense
If
that we
my-
pay that respect to dogs, but we don't give it the same
I think-
respect to humans.
I think it's like you said, like my nana probably wouldn't have chosen to be alive
Yeah.
if she had the option.
That
When
was
she
like
was really ill.
my gran when she was ill. Like she just wanted to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
I mean, if you know it's your time, then I don't know. I don't understand it personally. I'm a big advocate for
If
euthanasia.
you've accepted it and that you're dying and it's just putting stress and pain on your
Yeah, I
family
mean,
members, like, I know
it's
they'll be in pain for the rest of their lives.
It's
But
exactly the same as dog. Like, if your dog's in pain and
Yeah.
the vet's like, well, we should put it down because it's just going to live the
Yeah.
rest of its life in misery. Like, why are we not doing that for humans? Doesn't make any sense to me. But I
yeah,
don't
we
know.
put our dog down because
I
it would
think
have died
there's
in
the whole
surgery.
controversy about like whether humans will know that it is their time. That sounds really stupid, but with a dog, that can be decided for them.
Yeah.
Whereas
'cause
with
you don't-
humans, it's like they can't sometimes speak. My nana at the end, she couldn't talk because she was like just
Right.
passed out all the time. I think she couldn't talk, so it's sort of like, well then, where does that decision come from? Like, does my mum make that decision? Because you can't put that strain on another person.
Yeah. With all the
You can choose when I die.
Thank you.
with all the experiences that you and your mum have had, have you ever like considered going to see like a
Not
a
psych.
a psychic?
The
Is that what it is?
psychiatrist.
A psychiatrist?
I didn't mean
Is he
psychologist.
mental?
Psychiatrist, yeah.
No, like a psychic.
Psych.
A psychic.
What are they called?
Medium.
Medium.
I really want to
Psychic
go
medium.
and see a psychic. I really do.
Psychic, that's not it, is it?
It's
A
a
psychic's like someone who
medium.
reads your
Fortune teller.
future. Yeah. No, it's medium is what I mean. Like someone who could maybe connect
They call
you
it.
guys
They're called
with your-
psychic mediums.
I don't know.
Psychics are just
That's a bit
hoaxes.
weird, isn't it? Like, because I don't know if they'd be lying. Like, I know
Yeah.
it is actually a thing, and I do like to believe that spirits are real and that you can connect into that other world. But
There's star signs as well.
I just feel like if my nana wanted to talk to me, she would. I don't feel like I'd need
Right.
to go through someone for her to talk to me.
Not to like freak you out or anything, but do you think maybe the squirrel, the feathers, you don't think like maybe she is trying to speak to you?
Yeah.
It's a weird currency in the afterworld.
Yeah.
Got to pay squirrels to go
How
find
would
you.
they talk?
Oi, squirrel, do you think?
I don't know, because it's like it's nice, but then again, what is she trying to say to me? Do you know what I mean? Like, what the feathers is, I suppose, just sort of her showing me that she's there.
Right.
And then as the squirrel coming near to me, I mean, was that coincidence? Because I do believe the feathers are her.
Yeah, maybe it's all just like a comfort thing.
Yeah, but
But-
I do believe the feathers are there.
But the feather thing happens to enough people. It must have
be
some
kind of
relevance.
true.
I mean, yeah.
But it's just
And
like, where
everyone
would the
knows that
feathers
dogs and-
come from?
yeah,
They're
dogs and
just in
babies have-
random places.
Like
different.
Jack told us about that feather thing on one of the first couple of episodes, and it wasn't the first time I'd heard about it. I'd heard about it from someone else, and then you've said it, and now you've come on, and that's the thing for you. Like,
Same
it's
thing with,
clearly happened
with
to
Leo
people.
as well, like with the
Yeah.
whole not knowing he'd never met her, like that's happened to someone else clearly when he was little. So I think that sort of, it's like the whole pets and babies thing. I think that's real. I think they have like a special connection to the spirit world.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm guessing your mum obviously believes that these things are also
Yeah.
your nan.
she's like dead set that they are.
Yeah. Does when stuff like that happen, does it freak her out, or does it make her feel good, or
It's
comfort?
comforting.
Right.
Same for me. I mean, it scared me when it happened.
Yeah.
But like afterwards, when I thought about it, I was like,
Yeah, because like being woken up, that's like it's just like a
you
start,
get
isn't it?
startled, don't you? Like it's like because it felt I honestly thought it was someone waking me up.
Right.
Do you know, like my alarm hadn't gone off or something?
Mhm.
That's what I thought it was. It was
Yeah.
weird.
Well,
White feathers are a sign that an angel is with you right now. It signifies comfort, peace, purity, and protection. It's also one of the most common colours of feathers sent to us by angels on behalf of the deceased loved one. Of course, other colours are also possible. If a feather floats onto your path out of the blue, it's a sign that's the comfort of a spirit, according
There you
to my Google search.
well, there you go. It's a thing.
I've just got
People.
chills.
Did you?
Yeah.
I have that way with words.
I do honestly.
It's weird that
think-
you both like have this thing
I was literally, I think it was yesterday,
that you found.
and I
one.
was going to
And I
message the
didn't
group
even
chat, but I
know,
was like, I can't
bearing
be
in mind.
arsed.
I didn't even
don't
And
know
know.
what happened
you were
to
having you're having a bad day yesterday.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, that's great. I mean, what a lovely story. What a lovely couple, like
Oh, thank
connection
you.
of
Like-
stories.
Oh, we can't go near each other. Can we?
Sorry,
Cut
yeah.
that out.
Same bubble.
Obviously it wasn't one big story. It was.
No, it was great. It all linked together. It was there's a lot of things that connected to a couple of different episodes that we could talk about. So
It's top 2 podcast this season.
top 2 podcast this season. Well,
Second.
you've made it. You've made it on only the second episode to the top 2.
Top 3
Okay,
at
so
push.
thank you very much. We've had a long enough episode now. We'll be totally fine. Just wanted to say to everyone watching, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on Spotify, thank you so much. If you're listening on Apple Podcast, thank you as well. You can actually leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast. Don't know what it does, but you might as well.
Probably get some more views on the
Probably
trending.
maybe it throws us out to more people in the United Arab Emirates or the Philippines or something.
Coming
where
for
we
you,
clearly have
impulsive.
a fan base growing. So follow the podcast on Instagram if you could. That would be really cool because then you can know when it is that we're going to upload a new episode. If you're already following the Instagram, you would have seen the post that we made when this episode came out, saying that it was Jodie's episode. So thank you very much. The Instagram is @dead_air_pod. Thank you very much for being here, everyone.
Stay safe.
Thank you for
Stay
joining us.
sanitised.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining
Thank
us,
you for
Jonas.
having me.
You're an incredible guest.
Thank you.
Good episode. Thank you, guys.
Cheers, right.